Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulmilitanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, Sri Srimad Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, we understood the effect of the peer pressure through the modes of material nature that we associate with. And that also said that we can make a choice. It is by choice. Which mode we are constituted, our body is also constituted with the three modes of material nature. So which mode is predominant, according to that we are forced to make choice. It's not a freedom, rather it's a compulsion. So you can see in this particular question Arjuna is asking, Arjuna vacha atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha anichannapi vashneya baladiyava niyojita. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what one is impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. According to our previous karma and the mode of material nature that was dictating our karma, would naturally carry at the time of death through the mind, and that becomes responsible to us to come into another form of life of that particular mode, the same mode that we were habituated to associate with. So, it is not that, oh, I have chosen to come as a human being this time. No, you have been forced to come. All right? But during this lifetime, we make our choices. That is called free will. There is a destiny. Destiny is created. It's a definite thing that because modes of material nature yield a particular reaction, that becomes our destiny. But because we associate with those modes, our destiny has been written. But man is an architect of his own future, and he can change the destiny if he understands and how to control the modes of material nature. So, otherwise, like an animal, he has been tied up with the most sensitive part of his body is called the nasal septum. They perforate it and put a rope through so he can be controlled. If you pull this way, the animal will go only in that particular direction. If you pull this way, it will go this direction. So generally the oxen are trained like that. As if pulled by the rope, as if engaged by the force. So, Krishna is answering. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samadbhava Mahashanam Mahapapma Vidyenam Hiya Vairinam. Mahashanam means unquenchable fire. And this kama and krodha, they can never be satiated. And when you add more fuel to it of sense gratification, it is going to flare up more and more. And that is to be known as is our most formidable enemy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Sometimes we believe that our partner does not reciprocate our love. We are really admitting that we are in love with our idea of how the other person should behave. This mind-reading business we have to stop. Anticipation is something which is out of our imagination. But we have to cultivate a realistic vision. If our love is genuine, though, we will want to know of any problems we are causing and explore the ways to remedy them. Problems do not come either on its own accord or with one party only. It's a clash between two titans, egoistic titans. Let's see, that gives us bad habits, and we saw for you and your partner to avoid that will weaken your marriage. Blaming the other person, argue to win, poor communication, not accepting the differences, avoiding confrontation and conflict and run away like chicken. And withdrawing from communication means you become impersonalist and expecting your partner to read your mind. Is it applicable to everybody? Say yes, loud and clear. Yes. Okay. All the time. So we have to improve on these 7 habits. They are bad habits. Ta-da! Ta-da! Keeping Krishna in center. Let's examine. Blaming one person, the other person. While it can be tempting to shift the blame onto your partner when problems arise, this is not the most effective course of action. Stop blaming, blame game. Both people are part of the problem, so it cannot be resolved unless each partner looks at their contribution. The partners have to examine what was their contribution to flame up the problem. Blaming the other person may prevent your own self-esteem from taking a blow. But it likely won't help you move past whatever hurdles has come up. The blame does not give you a victory. It's like a blow, and it will probably harm the sentiments of the other party. But at the same time, the problem is at standstill. It is not progressing towards the resolve. So what is the use? Focus on yourself and your contribution. That is the remedy. So the problem to move forward. Don't make the problem stagnant. Otherwise it will keep on stinking more and more. Stagnant water stinks more. Resolve it quickly. Second, arguing to win. No one likes to admit that they are wrong, but doing so can greatly improve your relationship. Focusing on getting the last word is a bad habit and one that can chip away at your relationship. Generally, people use the last word. that will make a permanent damage to your relationship. Even though it is small, but it will not heal. So never speak last word. Like, go to hell. Hell is already created. Consider, if you always think you are right, your partner will be filled with anger and resentment. Instead of arguing to win, focus on the other person's needs, not your. If you help to refill that need in your partner, solution is at hand. Now, we want to inflict more miseries. Remember that arguing with your partner is meant to move the relationship forward. Means, if it is constructive argument, then do it. Otherwise, never attempt to argue. Don't pick up quarrel with your wife, neither with your husband. It is not going to, give rise to more love. No. Rather, it will be boomeranging and giving a reverse effect. And help you come up with a solution or compromise that allows both of you to feel forward, heard and understood. There are two things required. If you want to be heard, then you try to understand your partner first. Then you will be heard appropriately. So we have to understand ourselves first, that my need is to be heard in an argument. All right? So the wrong methodology to argue simply to win doesn't mean that you have crossed the message. Rather, a lot of resentment will come. So, never try to conclude the argument by throwing a blow. Poor communication. Don't take it for granted that you are a happy married couple, therefore you understand each other. Good communication is the key to a lasting and healthy relationships. In order to feel close, you need to be able to share what is going on inside your head and your heart, particularly your feelings, both positive and negative, with your partner. And there should be an open communication for that. Reveal the heart. If you feel that you are being misunderstood or that your partner doesn't listen to you, there is a greater likelihood that the problem will arise. So if you feel that you are being misunderstood, take time to clarify. To help break this pattern, to be open and honest, ask your partner what is about how you communicating that is not working. So in which way she will like you to communicate. Give her option that she understands you better. Don't thirst upon or shove in her throat that you understand me. If you don't, that is the last word. Threat. Ideally, this will open a dialogue about how to improve your interactions with one another. It means the relationship is still surviving. Otherwise, this poor communication is a superiority complex, that will, kill the relationship. Not accepting the differences. Out of these 7 bad habits, fourth one is not accepting differences. Even though you may have fallen for your partner because of your similarities, keep in mind that everyone is different, and those differences should never be called out as negative or wrong. You have to accept that they are not negative or wrong. Looking into diversity of the differences, if differences are not allowed, each person cannot be their unique self, and each person's need cannot be met. You do not know what is the actual need for your partner. So differences should be allowed. The differences will keep you busy in the service as a sacrifice for your love to your partner. Accepting that there is more than one way to cope with a problem or see a certain issue is paramount to relationship success. There is not one way, my way or highway, they call it. Right? You can't dictate that. Understand that we are all different and there is not one right way to be filled. Number 5, avoiding confrontation and conflict. Culturally, we have embraced this idea that happy couples do not fight. This is not to suggest that the couples need screaming matches to stay close. Fight means, well, there should be some disagreement. Otherwise, there is no opportunity to mend it. And everything is buried. And when it becomes volatile and opportunity is arising, everything will blow up. So all that is buried will come up like a volcano. And ladies are expert at picking small things that you did not agree, that you did not approve, or that you deprived her and not even left her comfortable with it. They will remember each and every detail like a computer, and it will pop up. And you may think, oh, these are little things. Why are they bothering me like that? I might have tell, but then, Baba, admit, because they are going to pop up anytime, uninvited. This is not to suggest the couple need screaming matches to stay close. No. But honest communication of your needs and thought is crucial. So therefore, arguments, but healthy, constructive arguments are to be chosen. If you have a desire to sustain your marriage or go further, means make a progress, then you can even thinking that it is benefit for my family and how come she is not approving. So he can enforce it with love and care. Love and care. Then she will understand, yes, that was good. But if you do only my way or highway type of thing and enforce the thing, that's going to disturb. She should be felt that she has been cared for. Healthy disagreements. No two human beings alive will agree on everything and always meet each other's needs and expectations. Generally, we ignore each other. I mean, husband and wife, they ignore each other. Means taken for granted. Oh, it is okay. What's a big deal if I haven't said something to her? I have forgotten. Oh, what is the big deal? Leave me alone. Oh. There is more than what to say. The danger is not in the conflict, but in avoiding difficult topics and ignoring your feelings. Too often couples think that conflict is a sign that relationship is falling apart. And they become so much sentimental about it that they create more mess. You want them to forget, oh, forget it, it's not serious, okay. But no. So, you have to pay special attention. As the need comes, you have to respond appropriately. Indifference is another thing. You can't play the game of indifference with your partner. What do you mean by indifference? Indifference.
Not paying attention.
Not paying attention, part of it, then?
Doesn't really matter. Not caring.
Most of the time, let me tell you, when some news comes and husband knows but he doesn't tell his wife, he thinks, oh, he got the news? Fine, everybody knows it. Ignoring totally, thinking we are the same. I got the news, but he forgets to tell. Then it pops up, how come you know and you did not tell us? Aren't we part of your family? And they will start digging out everything. So, between two persons there should not be indifference. Means we are person and personalism has to be maintained. Have you seen a couple fighting under the same roof and he goes in his room, she goes in kitchen? Okay, then no speaking. That is called impersonal behavior. Yeah, under the same roof. There are two living entities. It means both are boiling up inside. If she cooks, you better think it will be burnt. And if she calls him, okay, come and take, hell with your prasad. They will say that. I don't want to eat. Don't call me. This is indifference, make you impersonal. Even the two persons are there, the behavior is impersonal. And that is Maya. Anger and frustration is not the opposite of love, indifference is. While tickling, there is some sort of sentiment called anger comes up or frustration comes up. Both have to be shared because it is a common involvement. Oh, he has a habit. He becomes angry all the time. So, it is not my problem. And the lady escapes. But no, that is carelessness. And avoid carefully the responsibility. It should be shared 50-50. When you stop talking, you stop connecting And that's the real danger. Withdrawing from communication. Your feelings are hurt and you may be really upset or angry, so you want to punish this person by refusing to talk, right? You may even want to avoid solutions now and hang on to your anger. So, all the opportunities of the solution is there, yet we ignore them because of our self-esteem or false ego is hurt. Withdrawing is a defensive tactic and often used when one person feels as though they are being attacked by the other during an argument. Generally, ladies withdraw, but keep the problem burning. Don't withdraw from your partner. It does more than prevent solution of the existing problem. It forms a pattern that harms the entire relationship. And the last one is expecting your partner to read your mind. Expecting your partner to know what your problem is and proactively solve often happens in relationship where the partner is feeling neglected. Unfortunately, this only leads to more anger and negative communications. Right? So, this is the modern time. But the story of Sukanya and Chavan Muni is completely opposite. Chavan Muni was easily angered. He's just like Durvasa Muni. And Sukanya has been married to such a angry mood, angry bird. But Sukanya, being very intelligent and chaste woman, knowing the temperament of her husband, she would act intelligently to prevent him getting angry. So, let's reiterate. Bad habits, where are they coming from, and how we can transform them into good habits. How is it that we come to adopt bad habits that hurt ourselves and our relationship? Why, even when we understand that they are hurting us and our goals for future, we cannot seem to give up? Let's look at some of the causes of acquiring bad habits. See, the peer pressure comes here. So we studied this part. We acquire the bad habits by the company. So we saw this. So, responses in three modes. How do we choose appropriate response? Let's look at some responses in different modes and the effect they will have. Let's review those bad habits from the very beginning, okay? All the 7. What is the outcome, both short term and long term? Consider. If you always think you are right, your partner will be filled with anger and resentment. You may think you are happy because you won, but has anything changed for the better? What do you think? How will you measure the effect of your bad habit? If there is no improvement, and moving forward in healthy relationship, you might have fanned your false ego, but the solution is at standstill. You gain nothing. This is considered by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to be in the mode of ignorance. Happiness, which is tasting like nectar in the beginning, but is bitter and poisonous at the end. So this is called happiness in mode of ignorance. If you stifle your own needs in order to keep peace, you will be filled with resentment. Oh, I sacrificed this much and I'm not getting enough response. So, the person's need is still at standstill. And as if he is robbed of, he has been taken for granted. For reciprocation, no. If you may purchase a gift to make peace or cook a favorite dish for your partner, do you think it will be appeasing? Is it a positive thing? We have to measure. Has anything really changed for the better? What will happen when the same issue comes up again? Again you have to cook another dish to make him happy? What do you think? This is considered by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to be in mode of passion. That happiness which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end. If you learn how to argue constructively, listening to each other and responding in appropriate ways, then your relationship will grow and blossom. You may have to admit that there are more than one ways to view things, and you may even have to admit that you made a mistake. What have you really lost? What have you gained? If you apologize for your mistake, chances are you will be victorious. The only loss will be your false ego, which will be replaced by true humility when you apologize. This is considered by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to be in mode of goodness, that which in the beginning may just like be poison, but the end is like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization. What is the Krishna conscious vision in mending the relationship? What will happen when we treat our spouse and all family members as fellow Vaishnavas and give them respect, allowing them to grow in Krishna consciousness by telling Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo, and strike your head on the floor. Maybe that will melt the heart. But false ego prevents us even to bend down a little. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So start practicing every day, even though you have not fought. Treat your spouse as a Mahavaishnava. Real magic. When we stop expecting each other to have magical mind-reading power, it becomes possible to solve problems quickly. It is important for couples to be aware when these behaviors are occurring so that the cycle can be stopped. Then the couple can work together to find more polite and constructive ways to resolve their conflict. Third, as husband and wife best negotiate their respective roles with consideration of Krishna consciousness and their own personal and cultural background. They have to negotiate. What will be my service? What will be the priority of my service? Like that. The actual system is that husband is the spiritual master to his wife. But if the wife can bring her husband into practicing this process, then it is all right that the husband accepts the wife as spiritual master. I mean, so early times, Srila Prabhupada has been, very straight in giving the explanations. He has not compromised any of the principles. See, this letter has been written to Shilavati on June 14, 1969. There's no relationship is without its problem. Sometimes the most wonderful relationships are also the most conflict-ridden. The only fundamental difference between a successful marriage and unsuccessful one is the way in which the couple deals with the problem that arises. It all depends on our choices. So, real art of living is in resolving a problem mutually, amicably, with constructive arguments. When we think we are the proprietors, we cling to our money and other possessions. But when we understand that we are the servant of the Lord, we realize that everything we have is actually a vehicle to allow us to offer our love back to God. This realization encourages us to become extremely loving and attentive because we know that we are caretakers on the behalf of the Supreme. But this practice can be only cultivated with Trinadapi Sunichena process. If you do one and not the other, it is not going to work. When we understand that God has given our partner to us, we ask ourselves, is God happy with the way I am treating his daughter or son? Men and women have equal rights to practice spiritual life and to develop their individual relationship with Krishna. This is woman's liberation. Room conversation in Philadelphia, Prabhupada specifies about the equal rights. We give Krishna consciousness both to the women and men equally. We do not make any such distinction. But to protect them from this exploitation by man, we teach something that you do like this, you do like that. You be married, be settled up, don't wander independently, which we teach them like that. But so far Krishna consciousness is concerned, we equally distribute. There is no such thing as that, oh, you are a woman, less intelligent or more intelligent, therefore you cannot come. We don't say that. We welcome women, men, poor, rich, everyone, because in that platform of equality, we do not refuse anyone. That is equality. Householders are advised to integrate as far as possible their material and spiritual identities. Even though the latter is ultimately more important, a devotee should not neglect self-understanding on the material level. Means do not be fanatic. Even in cold winter, you go with bare chest and say, I am not this body. Never attempt that. And if your wife gets upset, it is you to be blamed, because she cares for you. Giving our best include fulfilling our material responsibilities, but that is only the beginning. We must also give other person what really matters, which is love, understanding and spirituality. We should lovingly offer support and encouragement to our spouse and raise our children to be God conscious, teaching them that they belong to God. For this reason, a marriage requires strong spiritual foundation. A marriage based on self-centeredness, economical security, or social convenience will very likely bring unhappiness. Such factors are transitory. Principle 4 is positive and realistic vision. One should enter the Grihastha ashram with the correct attitudes and expectation, especially being careful to avoid misinterpretation of scriptural truths and or being influenced by inappropriate person and social paradigms. We should not be carried away. Rather, confined to the instructions of Guru and Krishna through Shastra. What are the correct attitudes? Srila Prabhupada wrote later in 1972 to Saucharya Devi, another item is, you are married wife, so in that position you should serve your husband nicely, always being attentive to his needs, and in this way, because he is always absorbed in serving Krishna, by serving your husband, you will also get Krishna through him. He is your spiritual master, but he must be responsible for giving you all spiritual help, teaching you as he advances his own knowledge and realization. This is Vedic system. The wife becomes a devotee of her husband, and husband becomes a devotee of Krishna. The wife serves her husband faithfully, and husband protects his wife by giving her spiritual guidance. Just try to please Krishna always, and no material circumstances will able to cause you any discomfort. What a blessing. One should, as far as possible, avoid both negative attitudes and unrealistic expectations towards married life, as both may dampen one's enthusiasm. It is also essential to hold before oneself suitable criteria for a successful marriage. counseling. Prabhupada wrote in a letter, I think to Govinda Das in Los Angeles, said, 2 marriages recommended by you may be performed at that time as well, means during the fire sacrifice of the first initiation, the married couple can also sit down and get the fire sacrifice done. But only after having sufficiently counseled the respective devotees. This marriage business should not be taken as farce, but is a very serious matter. Recently, so many couples have been cast adrift by the waves of Maya's influence. That is hard to check, but still the devotees must realize the responsibilities of household life. And there is no question of separation. Too much this has been happening and I am very much displeased. So, if they are promising not to separate under any circumstances, but to work cooperatively in the service of the Lord, then my sanction is there for their marriage and my blessings as well, otherwise not. Aha! Expectation. Unaware that our actual wholeness is accessible internally, we simply find something who outwardly conforms to our idea of an attractive person and use that individual as a screen upon which to project our fantasy in the form of hopes, fears and desires. This is called Bollywood culture. You may be knowing who are these people. Oh, you are all brahmacharis. All right, here then, and then try again. Whatever it is. This is what we expect. This process of externalization and the projection usually lies at the origin of romantic love, and the romance endures only as long as the illusion remains intact. We want the illusion to be everlasting. And we make our fantasies and our life based on this. Most of us consider love to be a feeling that ebbs and flows according to the circumstances. But genuine love is not linked to what we feel, nor does it depend on any external conditions. Real love is divine and cannot exist separately from the source, which is God. Again, the same triangle. Ta-da, 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 dee-dee-dee-dee. In this way, you can keep God in the center of the relationship in all reflections and activities. Support from the elders as far as possible and practical is important in entering into any marriage arrangement. Marriage is between the two parties doesn't mean that marriage is restricted between the two parties itself, as if there is no connection with the relatives and friends. Relatives and friends are part in every obligatory processes. For Grihasthas, relatives and friends are part either to witness or to support. any activity. They are not simply witnesses, but rather they foster the principles for which the marriage is supposed to take place. So this family tradition according to Vedic civilization was very strictly observed so that the family may be kept in order in religious principles. Why? Now, because the human life is meant for reviving his eternal position, Sanatan, the word is used here, Kula Dharma Sanatanaha, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 37, 38 and 39 verses, Arjuna is describing Kule Dharmen and Nashta. What? If Kula Dharma is destroyed because the ladies do not follow the religious principles, they will become victimized. And Kula Dharma Sanatana, they will become the party because husbands already died in the battlefield. They went to Svargaloka and left behind the ladies. If they are being polluted or exploited and remain unprotected, then Kula Dharma Nashtaha. Principle 5, mutual respect and appreciations for healthy relationships. Respect for all others is a basic Vaishnava value. All right? So when you respect your spouse as a Vaishnava, then all the basic values of the married life will be contained within. Prabhupada gave lecture in Vrindavan on nectar of devotion. Amanina manadena. He wants to give respect to everyone, but he doesn't expect any respect for himself. A Mahabhagavat is ready to give respects even to an ant, and for himself he does not want any respect. Without mutual appreciation, it is not possible to develop more intimate relationship. A decline in appreciation will lead to deteriorating relationship. One should learn to develop intimacy without familiarity. Why? Intimacy without familiarity. What does familiarity do? It breeds contempt. Gar ki murgi dal barabar. They start treating, ye to gar ki hi to hai. So, without mutual appreciation, it is not possible to develop more intimate relationship. A decline in appreciation will lead to deteriorating relationship. So one should learn to develop intimacy without familiarity. Familiarity is not the criteria to become intimate. Intimacy comes by service attitude. Love is generated by service, not by demand. Here it is, the example. This is another beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 23rd chapter, 2nd verse, about the marriage of Devahuti and Kardam Muni. This is how Devahuti served Kardam Muni. Vishrambhenatma shauchena gauravena damena cha shushrushraya sauradena vacha madhuryaya cha ho. O Vidur, Devahuti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of senses, with love and with sweet words. And Karda Muni was in trance, and she was also with great intimacy served her husband. As soon as she came newly married, without going through honeymoon, she started serving her husband. These are two important processes in serving the husband or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishrambhena means with intimacy, and Gauravena means the great reverence. The husband is very intimate friend, therefore the wife must render service just like an intimate friend, and at the same time she must understand that the husband is in superior position and that she must offer him all respects. Oh, any questions so far? We are moving fast. Principle 6, commitment and dedication. With determination and unshakable commitment, one can surmount inevitable hard times that come in married life. They come. Even though we do not invite, they come uninvited. Here it is. Sukanya chavayanam pyapya patim paramam kopanam prinayam asa chittagya apramattanuvrtibhihi. Chavan Muni was very irritable. But since Sukanya had gotten him as her husband, she dealt with him carefully, according to his mood. Knowing his mind, she performed services to him without being bewildered. Isn't it ideal? Why should I read my husband's mind? He doesn't reveal himself, and he is expecting me to read his mind. Does he do? He doesn't do my mind reading. Why should I do? But it becomes a weak point for husband, that he is expected to read wife's mind. Now, if the mind reading business is there, then it should be mutual. It cannot be one-sided. But here is a very chaste example of the Shastra that if any wife wants to be happy with her husband, she must try to understand her husband's temperament and please him. This is the victory for women. When the wife becomes as irritable as the husband, their life at home is sure to be disturbed or ultimately completely broken. In the modern day, the wife is never submissive, and therefore home life is broken even by slight incidents. So, any question? Yes?
Maharaj, I think one of the Mataji should be asking this question. that the husband is not... if the husband is not of that level, then should the wife be still doing all these kind of things? When I say level, he's not a devotee. He might be a bit fallen, into the wrong things.
And the wife is.
And the wife is still serving and trying
No, a wife is a devotee and obedient and chaste. If this is kind of mismatch, you think, wife still has to do. This incident happened in Delhi early days. Srila Prabhupada had a disciple from Delhi. And one day she came in the evening, crying profusely, Guru Maharaj, please give me shelter, I want to stay in the temple. My husband beat me up. He came drunk and lost his temper, and look what he did to me. Prabhupada said, Mataji, sorry, please go back home. It happened twice with her. And Prabhupada sent her back. Prabhupada anticipated the disciple to understand how one has to become Krishna conscious. So if even the husband is breaking some principle of, say, here it was a matter of, intoxicants. There are many examples in the Shastras that husbands were really demons, but the wife never gave up. When Ravan was killed by the arrows of Ramchandra, Mandodari came with other ladies whose husbands also laid their lives there. Mandodari came and started chastising Ravan when he was dead. My dear husband, we became lost of any support. We have no protection now because you have gone. But you should understand that you were not acting in good standing. Now, your dead body is simply nothing but food for vultures to feast upon. But anyway, you have been killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you have hard way to learn this lesson. And she never repented for the loss of her husband. Because she is a chaste woman, and it does not affect her chastity if husband is not appropriate. So Prabhupada said, you must remain faithful to your drunkard husband. Don't start drinking along with him and give him company. That is not mind reading. But by your proper behavior, actually Ravana was afraid of Mandodari. So anyway, when the wife becomes as irritable as the husband, their life at home is sure to be disturbed or ultimately completely broken. In the modern day, the wife is never submissive, and therefore home life is broken even by slight incidents. Chanakya Pandit says, Yasya grihe mata nasti. Bharya cha apriyavadini. Aranyatena gantavyam yatha graham tatha aranyam. He says, in the house, if there is no a mother to call sweetly. And the wife is irritable and doesn't speak pleasing words. That house is just like forest, so better the person should live for forest. Give up such life. So, commitment and dedication.
Just at the point of familiarity, in general, when we are around devotees and we are doing devotional service, we become familiar, like it just becomes a daily thing. So how can we keep away, not making offenses in that mood of familiarity?
Because we are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead together. So even though I know him, but he is serving right now. So even though there is some kind of disagreement, then mutually we can respectfully soul, right? For the sake of pleasing Krishna. Two God brothers fight. There is fight on the altar, about your service, my service. These are very low mentalities. These are the place where no offense has to be created. Otherwise, it is offense over the offense. Double offense. Dham offense, Vaishnava aparad, also. Then even keeping Krishna in center is impossible. They are keeping themselves in the center and let Krishna move around him. Love and affection doesn't happen automatically as in popularized concept of romantic love, but are developed through service. We should not expect love to descend upon us just like an attack of epilepsy. Love is not something that we can turn on and off like a faucet. In our society, we often do not understand this. Oh, I need love, so let me open up the tap and drink it up. In such a state of consciousness, we are constantly looking for something outside of ourselves instead of tapping the wellspring of love within. Our constitution is Anandamaya Bhyasat. So, Anand or the pursuit of happiness through loving is still within us, and we are looking from outside. We think our wife is the object of my love. Yes, because she needs. You need from her through her service, and she needs you through your service. Both are servants. And because they have kept Krishna in center, then they serve Krishna by mutually serving. So Krishna will be pleased. It's not that, they are just trying to keep Krishna so they can serve each other nicely. But they are basically servant of Krishna. And they will respect, otherwise they cannot keep Krishna in the center. If our attention of love through service is Krishna, then both husband and wife are mutually loving for the sake of love of the Lord. Therefore, as in the beginning it has been told that our common denominator of love is Krishna, not separately. When husband and wife fights, both claim Krishna is on my side, as if they are pulling legs of Krishna. Even they don't spare Krishna. And they think they own Krishna. On the other hand, when we are genuinely loving, we are not concerned with ourselves at all. Love is a verb. We empathize, appreciate, share, help, and give. We are not trying to feel good or control the environment to enhance our own pleasure. We are not exploiters. We do not look for entertainment to replace our love. We express our love by what we do. If someone professes love for another but is unwilling to serve that person, the love is not deep. The deeper the love, the more we will express it by selfless service to the object of our love. I love you, no more. There is no need to claim. We can immediately figure out that one who renders service without any motivation is a real lover and is a recipient of love. Room conversation in Detroit, 1976, June 14. Happily they live. As soon as there is no quarrel between husband and wife, the home will be happy. And as soon as there is misunderstanding between husband and wife, it will become hell. So the principle is the husband honestly tries to earn livelihood, and at the home the wife should be so intelligent that whatever money the husband has earned, she will manage. No demand. How come you are giving me only? You must be hiding. Or you must be giving to your father, and not me. Oh my God. Quarrel means quarrel.
Two questions, Maharaj. Before you said, husband, wife, they sometimes they think that Krishna on their own side, but at the same time, sometimes between in the family, the Krishna is blamed. So if something goes wrong, they'll say, "Oh, Krishna, why did you do it?" So is the blame, is it a part of the dependency on Krishna, or is it a part of non-dependency?
He thinks Krishna is supplier of his sense gratification. He provides. So he uses him, means he abuses him. Envious people use Krishna under the religious disguise to foster their, anarthas. Even in devotees, they use Krishna as a scapegoat. They make a show of externalism, of religious nature. Right? Na ke tilak gale mala, eotto acha kali chela, be aware. How do you see? If he is a serious devotee, he will hide four things. What?
The Guru mantra, chanting
beads on the deity.
And the Ishtadev. All right. Because he is anartha mukta devotee. He is free from unwanted things in his life. He's carefully, weeds are removed. He's carefully removed the weeds that grow to the bhakti creeper. He's careful. He will not allow. But many are there, bhakti creeper is growing, but so many weeds are also growing simultaneously. And he loves the weeds because of bad habits. So, to continue reaping up the results of, this anarthas that he loves, he make a show. He becomes dharmadvaji. He will go forward proclaiming his guru is the topmost, most powerful. Everybody should bow down to him. Amar Guru, Jagat Guru. And hold a staff or flag proclaiming. So he's called Dharmadvaji. He carries the flag. He's a flag bearer. Bearer, not barrier. Flag bearer. And he wants to hide behind the Guru. He may go externally, but actually he is hiding behind the Guru. If I glorify my Guru, I'll be appreciated, and people will not know what nonsense I'm doing. All right? It's like that. So he hides his anarthas. See, his life is anartha yukta, not mukta, but yukta. And actually, he is not an advanced devotee. He is a show, puff-up devotees. So the principle is that husband honestly tries to earn livelihood, and at home the wife should be so intelligent that whatever money the husband has earned, she will manage.
So the second question was, here Prabhupada is saying that she should be so intelligent that whatever money husband earns, she will manage. So is it that the message is saying that the wife should not go out of the way of her family life to earn livelihood?
Yeah.
Or
otherwise, who is going to manage? If both husband and wife are earning, who is going to manage the household? Nobody is responsible. Do you think the kids can run the household?
they'll be in the child care, Maharaj. All the money going to child care.
Oh, that's why devotees keep deities in their house. Let them take care of the household. Shishi Gaurnitai ki jai, because they are watching our house. No. Simple living and high thinking will bring one to very close to Lord Krishna.
So what's ideal, Maharaj? Many times in devotee, in material association is different. Devotee congregation, if a wife asks to senior devotee or Guru, how can I work? That means they have a desire to work.
Material life is fluctuating with ups and downs. All right? If you kept the standard when the life was up, but if you have no adjustment power to come down when it comes down, then you will want an extra help from your wife. So just to keep the so-called false status quo, you will break the principles. You will be taking big risk. when the wife earns, she says, this is my income. And what you earn, it is shared income. A wife who is a wife who is faithful, all the piety is divided into 50-50 without contributions. And what wife earns, it becomes shame on you to participate in that profit. After all, you are earning for your family, and wife is the first part of the family. Then the children comes. So, we can have the best of both, but best of entanglements also come. And then when they get bewildered, can't run their brain, oh my God, what a mess they invite. It's called, harder you hate, harder you will be hit. Reciprocate. So anyway, man has to make a limitation. You have to earn for the children's sake, that they will have opportunity to learn and they can stand on their spiritual footings. Right? And we'll see that tomorrow. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Number 7. Yes.
So I was really
Worried?
no, not worried. Prabhu. You explained very nicely. I could understand the guru part, but I was just humbly requesting, the other three
Mantra.
the mantra chanting, we Ishtadeva.
Sure.
How do we, in practical application, how should we act?
All
that
right.
We are hiding.
You have to chant the mantra in association of the devotees in order to become more receptive to the holy vibrations, and the aim is for advancement or to become purified. So, naturally, you will not make a show of chanting. You will be regulated, committed. It's an all introvert activities. So, hiding means you remain confirmed in your heart for the purpose you are chanting and remaining faithful to Guru, even Krishna. So the holy name is non-different. So all three will be protected. So that is the idea. To hide means, oh, I will not chant. Otherwise, if I chant, somebody will know what I'm chanting. No. Or I'll go away and go in the forest and chant. No. The mind is reeling back then. So, it is better to cultivate an introvertness when we chant properly. All right, open and honest communication. One should set aside quality time for heart-to-heart communication with one's spouse and children. One should maintain open dialogues with appropriate others and avoid denial, especially on the sensitive issues, as for example, intimacy and sex life. It doesn't give liberty to indulge in illicit sex even within the married life. The beauty is that when love is mutual, partners can resolve the issues together. Even if we believe that we are not at fault, we can ask our partner, how can I change? What can I do? What do you think would be the most spiritual way to address this problem? Huh? So the partner will reveal the mind. If we cultivate an attitude in humility, the partner will reveal the mind rather than we remain expected to read the mind. So, we'll stop here for today. Can I have more questions? Mothers are agreeable to all this? No questions? Only today and tomorrow. Bas, you ran out of your steam. Yeah.
Just we understand through all these slides which is shown that what is the position the woman should keep in the family life as a grihasthani. Like she should be always following the husband.
Sure.
Yeah.
She should be complementary and seeing the mood and mission of the husband, she should become an ideal caretaker. Take up the services and you will be more credited. Because your services always weigh more than husband's services. To run a household, to manage a household is not easy job. And that too with keeping Krishna in center and make all the members enter into this triangle of mutual relationship, keeping Krishna in the center. It's a big job. So, a chaste wife performs all the activities of as a good counselor to husband, supporter to husband, well-wisher of the husband, caretaker of the husband, nurse of the husband, you name it. She is capable to expand her personalities multifold. A husband is restricted to 3-4, situation. Job, recreation, means with the friends, another personality, and then there is social also coming. Yeah, that is the homely. Right? So this is the third. And probably he might behave little differently with his relatives. It may come under social, but nonetheless they are part of his family. So within the family, two personalities. As the, as the head of household, but he has some superiors and to take care. And some inferiors, juniors are also to be taken care. So there are two balancing roles he have to keep. So, the opportunities for a chaste wife is immense. Immense. She will be needed almost in every way. And husband may have to rely upon this faithful wife so much. So there is no cause for dissension, quarrel, or divorce even. Simply by following husband, she takes over her husband. But not in envious way, but by service attitude. You were talking about the withdrawal when there is an argument. You mentioned wife always withdraws, which means no communication. Should we resolve this issue after some time when the matter cools down? What is your opinion? How much cool is cool? Don't freeze it up. Cooling is something, but you will have to see the temperature, whether it is cooled off or not. Now, the thing is that withdrawal is a negative attitude. As far as I remember, we talked about instead of becoming innovative, withdrawing is a negative or distorted role. Rather, a wife becomes compassionate, proactive, and come forward. How can I serve more to resolve this problem? Right? Why do we have to wait for the problem to cool down? No, it is just like it is covered with the ash, as I said, that the heat is still there. It may not be felt from outside, but when it bursts upon again, it will blow off. So, withdrawal from the argument or this is what we call, it's not a correct attitude. It's a distorted role. Rather, we have to show some compassion and go out of our way to make the situation tension-free. Cool it. Don't let it cool it on its own. We will miscalculate. All right? So we need to be proactive towards such thing that it cannot be left aside, and when it cools down, then we will resolve. You follow? One has to remain proactive. To resolve means really you will contribute to help rather than contribute to flare it up again. No. So that is the way the positive role has to be taken. Nice question. You forget, Mataji is not going to feed you tonight.
At least today.
Better eat something in the evening before you go home or before you start driving. Yeah.
You mentioned complete personalities in one of the slides, so can you describe that for us, please? Like when two complete personalities meet each other, they can fulfill each other.
Personality.
Whole personality.
Whole person.
Whole personality.
It means they are ready to work out together. It's not that one is in need and other is not. Both are in need. So their need will be mutually fulfilled to become whole. All right? So if they are willing to work out, then all these factors, which are like bad habits, they have to be avoided. They should be trained, they're willing to learn where they are making mistakes to become the whole person. You know? Otherwise, these bad habits will make them, not whole. Some are there, others are not there, so they are half-cooked potatoes. Half-cooked potatoes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, in the morning you touched upon Sadashiva. Can you please explain a bit more whether Sadashiva comes under Jiva Tattva or
No.
Vishnu Tattva?
No Vishnu Tattva, no Jiva Tattva, it is Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva is very unique. He is neither Vishnu nor Jiva Tattva. He is Purusha. But he is so benevolent that he will facilitate everyone, whoever comes to him, without much of problem, to give him facility so he can enjoy. But Sadashiva is not false Purusha. It is Lord Vishnu himself, but here he has transformed into the incarnation of mode of ignorance. It means he will be controlling mode of ignorance and remain victorious as soon as he keeps on chanting the Mahashankarshan mantra, because he is the transformation of Shankarshan. Shankarshan into Shankar. Right? So, the idea is that he has transformed like the milk is transformed into yogurt. Kshiram yatha dadhi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tatah prathagasti heto yah shambhutam api tatha samupeti karyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Lord Govinda, who for the purpose of samupeti karya, withdrawing the manifestation, right? That he transformed, like milk transformed into yogurt, can never become milk again. So this is a one-way transformation, just to indulge and control the mode of ignorance. He is that Shambhu Tattva, right? What we call Sadashiva, a spiritual entity. And then he expands himself as Lord Shiva to become husband of Mother Durga.
So Maharaj, again, you in the morning you mentioned that Vishnu comes into to manage mode of goodness. So he's not transformed. So he's Vishnu himself. He comes in Vishnu Tattva.
Right.
Mode of passion.
But he is not affected by mode of goodness either.
Correct.
He is remained transcendental. Most of the people do not know. They make Satyanarayan Katha as if he will be punished.
So Brahma comes into mode of passion.
Yes.
So in terms of Shiva coming into mode of ignorance, so is Brahma higher than Shiva or?
No. That becomes a very interesting point. In the creation, both Brahma and Lord Shiva had 5 heads. Now, according to this situation, Brahma is a Jiva Tattva and Lord Shiva is the direct transformation. So Shiva thinks, how come Brahma has 5 heads? He is inferior than me. I am direct transformation and he is the Jiva. He is eternally separated living entity. Right? While I am the most intimate associate. Right. So he sent the Trishul and chopped off one head of Brahmaji. And Brahma said, what happened? He cut my head off. This is injustice. So they started quarreling and came to Vishnu. Vishnu understood, Brahma, yeah, I can understand that you feel you have been given injustice by him, but he is also not wrong. You are right, but he is also not wrong. So this is like an unequivocal truth. You are right, but he is not wrong either. Right? It's not a dualistic language. But then Vishnu is responsible. He said, please don't fight. What you do, pass on this fight to other lesser demigods. It's not nice that you two keep on fighting. The nature of the material world is to fight. So the fight starts from you and it will be carried all the way. But just for the sake of, preservance, what you do, this prowess, we will convert this head into a prowess. All right? That head is powerful. So both you have to take the burden of the act. One who is the performer and one upon whom it is performed. And because Brahma was attached to that head, Brahma, you are also responsible. Okay? So, divide into half-half. But pass on this, the effulgence that is there to one of your favorite demigod, and then let them fight. So both Shiva and Brahma were sharing their prowess from the very beginning. All right? Every millennium, something is happening. So, gradually, there will be resolution too. If two prowesses are fighting, then Vishnu or Krishna took responsibility. I will favor in one millennium the one part, and in the next millennium he will be disfavored and the other will be favored. I think this is in Mahabharata. So, in this way, when the prowess was kept on being distributed to different demigods, they were sharing the trouble. And lots of stories were woven. In this particular millennium, or prior to, that is in Dwapar Yuga, Brahma gave his prowess to sun god, Surya. And Shivji gave his prowess to Indra. All right? And in this Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna came, Karna was begotten through Suryadev and he would be disfavored. All right? And Indra's son Arjun was to be favored. So in this way, Krishna was trying to keep on that justice system going on and on. Favor, disfavor, favor, disfavor. It means there is no real justice. Right? So the idea is that Lord Shiva started thinking, oh, he is the direct transformation of Lord Vishnu, even though meddling around with mode of ignorance, he selects the place where mode of ignorance is prevailing, smashan. He wears skull garland, moves around naked, Daksha was calling him his uncivilized animal, jungly. Right? He was insulting like anything. But Lord Shiva chants and remembers his original identity, always in tune, the transcendental nature of the Lord, and keeps everything balanced. But sometimes due to indulgence in mode of ignorance, he also comes into trouble. You know that story of Bhasmasur, who wanted to touch anybody's head by his hand, and the head will crack into 1,000 pieces. You know that story. No. Simply playing. All the kids should know the story. So, this is the way, material life is a selected place for Krishna to play favor and disfavor games, just to keep the balance. Means somebody will be happy, others will be miserable. Somebody will be happy at the cost of others' miseries. Like that. All right. Wow. What should be our mood, or how should we read or react when other devotees, while rendering service, bully us, put us down? You have already given the answer. The entire question is very humble. Right? And when somebody is trying to humble us down, what is hard for us to become more humble? If we react with, again, false ego, that will not give us opportunity to become more humble. So better opportunity to show our humility is the actual wealth of a devotee who is surrendered. That is an opportunity. When somebody puts us down, that's an opportunity to advance in spiritual by tolerating this. The tolerance gives you more strength than simply some material appeasement by eulogizing with good words. No, they will not. So, opportunity to show our humility, that we are not affected. Who cares of this bullying business? One who bullies is an egoistic person himself. So don't worry. You will be able to chant more precisely.
Maharaj, since morning we have been discussing how a husband and wife can live peacefully in harmony.
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes before you said Shiva and Lord Brahma were fighting.
They were not husband and wife.
Yes. So how do we take this into a perspective? Is it a Leela or is it, how do we understand this?
But Leela in fighting is also showing the same thing. The material world is meant for miserable life. Both Brahma and Shiva has beads in their hands. That even the fighting is going on, but this fighting will be bringing together in resolve of Brahma bole chaturmukhe, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Mahadeva Panchamukhe, Rama Rama Hare Hare. You know that song? Then why don't you sing?
So Maharaj, when Lord Brahma and Shiva are fighting, is that due to their free will?
No. The Lord wants to show that when the imbalance in material nature is there, He comes and corrects it. He is the ultimate mover of the whole thing. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunte jagadvi parivartate. There is no other cause besides me why this fighting is going on. Right? Krishna is very clever. When we became envious of him, he said, okay, you become envious of. Actually, you are envious of each other, so go and fight there. So Krishna creates a situation for us to come in this material world to keep on fighting. But when you are desirous to go back home, back to Godhead, stop fighting. What do you want?
Go back.
Jai. Intelligence.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj. So far out of 12 principles, we covered up to the 7 principles. The last one being open and honest communication. So Maharaj also mentioned that how important it is to for us to resolve the issues together and be honest. Now, I also remember that being honest is not just between the husband and wife, also with the kids. Sometimes it so happens that we give some reason to the kids, but the parents end up in a very embarrassing situation. So I remember just a joke that one kid asked his dad, "Dad, why you have some white hairs in your head?" So dad wanted to be very smart. So he said, that is because, he said, whenever you make me unhappy, one of my hair turns white. Then he said, the kid said to the dad, "Oh, I know, that's why my grandfather's head fully white."
Pass on the legacy.
And in a nursery, there was a basket of apples, and there was a note written for benefit of the kids that do not take more than one, because take only one. The God is watching. And there was another basket full of chocolates. So the smart kid thought for a while, and then he took another note and wrote it and put it on the chocolate box. That he wrote as, take as many as you want, because God is not watching, because he is busy watching apples. So we have to be clear with communication. We learned so much. Thank you, Maharaj.